73%, not great. Oh, nice.
This is not your path, not your purpose. You need our guidance alone this hour. Without us, what are you?
Just a human, man. Just a human. Just run randomly away, even though we're on the ship that's exploding. McClintlock, no! Don't sacrifice yourself. Don't do it. Oh, why can't you do that before?
What the hell is happening?
The ship itself is behaving like a dying star. Becoming a black hole.
Well, then, game over.
This distance, the Earth will be consumed.
Eh, no loss. Face texture is not super great.
I'm bugging out. The package is not on board. Waited as long as I could, sir.
Was that Brock Sampson?
Sir, the alien ship is in motion. What direction? What direction? Up.
Just like old classic games, every time the bad guy dies, the castle or fortress blows up. Dun dun dun. What happened to Barbara McClintlock? Will we ever know? Check out in XCOM 2. She'll be the boss of the next game. She was truly a badass. Without question. The second wave is coming. New custom gameplay options are now available for your next game of XCOM Enemy Unknown. Select the second wave option on the difficulty menus to access the new features. Interesting. Days until victory, 275. Wow, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's way longer than the average. Battles lost, that's because I cheated. World. Oh, okay. Is this... Oh, I guess this is like, the average online, I guess? The average score, 114,000. Hey, how come that's way better than mine? I did better days-wise, I guess. Aliens killed. I killed less than normal. Soldiers lost, 19. Wow, I did terrible. Yeah, early on, I lost way too many soldiers. I was below the average on funding countries. I lost twice as many as the average for countries lost. Yeah, I screwed up the base building so bad at the beginning. That's what screwed me there. Days until alien base cleared. Wow, that's weird. It seems like I was so behind on that part. Like, it felt like progressing the main story, I was way behind. But according to this, I was like way ahead. Days until ethereal device recovered. Oh no, I was about same on this. Days until psionic soldier discovered. That was way quick as well. I like all these stats, by the way. I think that's really cool. I only fought like a few less battles. I don't really understand that. Battles lost, 0. Again, we're a bunch of cheaters. Soldiers lost. I lost a shitload, of course. Soldiers hired. Defense matrices used. Interceptions aborted. Scientists. I think this stat might be a little off. They had 99,000 scientists. Impressive. Laboratories built 2. 49 technologies, which was all of them as far as I know. Average day per technology. I had a lot of scientists, so they went hit pretty quick. I caught one more on average. I still hate that I didn't ever try capturing one of those ethereals. Engineers. Again, that might be off a little bit. Items built, 87. Wow, I was really low on items built. Adjacency bonus, 6. Wow, I missed half of that. Jesus. Total credits earned. Again, I'm pretty sure these are hacked or just fucked up. Alien alloys, funding countries, funding received. Yeah, I need like a third on the funding received. Oh, it's the credits. All right, well, during the credits, like this is where I usually give my like off the cuff, semi-quick review of what I thought about the game overall, etc. Very, very good game. I very much enjoyed it. It's very addictive. It's definitely has that grab of, oh, let me just do one more turn. Oh, one more battle. Oh, one more search because I want to see if my soldier has psychic powers, or I want to finish this research and see what's next, or I want to do this or that, or make this satellite. So it's definitely got that pull to it where you find yourself playing for hours at a time. I really like the strategic elements. I like that, the way that the units upgrade. I mean, I guess the skill trees could have been deeper instead of just having 2 splits. But, I don't know how that would have worked in a game like this to have like a big skill tree. I liked building my units so that they complemented each other. I didn't do a great job of that, but especially not until like halfway through or near the end, where I was like, okay, well, with my one heavy, May, I forget what her last name was, May, who had the hollow targeting, like always shoot with her first, so everybody else gets the bonus and things like that. One problem I think I have big time is figuring out how to properly use support. Because, a shotgun, or not support, but assault. The shotgun assault, I think, would be really badass, but you have to run in like pretty close in the combat to really get the best benefit. But running in the combat often triggers other enemies, and that can lead to death. So I don't quite know how to use them right. It did seem like the upgraded shotgun that I forgot to make, or just didn't even notice, was better at longer ranges. In fact, she got the killing blow with the shotgun, if I recall correctly. But that one did seem better at ranges. But yeah, the scatter laser, the range on that was not good at all. Which, I mean, that's to be expected. But again, given the way that the enemy spawned, it was kind of a problem. But yeah, I really liked how the more I played, the more the strategies played in. There were some issues like the line of sight stuff. Like sometimes it seems like that one mission in particular was just bugged to shit, where that the giant robot missile shooting guy was on the roof of that building, and my flying sniper, who was like 10-15 squares away, couldn't see him unless he moved slightly to the right, and there was nothing in the way. There was like a lamp post. But even when the lamppost wasn't really in the way, he still couldn't see until he moved way to the right. That was just really bizarre. I don't know what was going on with that. But there are some weird line of sight issues where it looks like they have a very clear line of sight, and then they don't. And it's not really clear as to why you can't make that shot. Other problems I had was I really, really, really dislike the way the enemies spawn or they're triggered. I hate how when you move, if they see you, it like triggers that animation and then they get a free move. I hate that. Like, I think that's a really crappy way of having them spawn on the screen. Like, they should be just moving around like normal, right? They get their moves and we get our moves. Just, it should be even. And I think it's really cheap, like a cheap way of adding difficulty by having them basically get a free run to their cover. Or, you know, at least they can't shoot, though. That would have been even worse if they could have, like, we can hide and shoot. But it really sucked if the very last person of your turn accidentally discovered enemies. It's like, well, now they get a free move and a free round to blow your guys up. So you have to build your entire strategy around that. It felt very metagamey. It felt very artificial to have to build my strategy around, if I trigger these spawns, they get a free movement. So that just felt very artificial to have to build a very large part of my strategy around that. I think that was a big problem. Obviously, the save game bug that we ran into, there's no excuse for that shit to be still in the game over a year after release. That really tells me that they just don't give a fuck, honestly. Like, especially a save game bug is so huge. This isn't like a weird graphical bug that sometimes happens. Apparently, this is very, very common if you get over 100 save files, which is very easy when you're just creating a new save file every time. So it's just, honestly, just very lazy on their part to not fix that. And it's pretty sad that they've allowed that bug to exist. And there's definitely a lot of smaller bugs. Like, a lot of times enemy would, like, you or the enemy, where you would, like, try to shoot and your model would turn the wrong way. It didn't affect anything, and that was, you know, very minor. I didn't really care about that. And then there was other bugs, like when it goes into slow motion to show the, you know, the opportunity attack, or not opportunity attack, too much D&D, show the Overwatch attacks. The slow-mo goes like into super, super slow-mo, especially with sniper fire and things like that. So that's kind of irritating, but I mean, it wasn't a big problem. I guess you could just turn the cinematics off, which I didn't want to do that. I like the cinematics. But yeah, definitely overall great game. The voice acting was good all around. Not really that effective, but I really like that you get attached to your soldiers, and I'm almost positive you could rename the soldiers in the original game. But I think it was a really smart idea, just whatever game started this, to allow you to customize your soldiers, like change the name, change the way they look, their hairstyle, all that. I think that was really smart because it gets you attached to your Marines. I guess these are counted as Marines, right? I don't know. Anyway, you get attached to your units, and when they die, it really sucks. Like, I really hated losing my support, like, right at the end, especially the last mission. That kind of sucked. That sucked actually pretty hard. And she died in a shitty way, quite frankly. That they were able just to run in and shoot, and I didn't realize they were there. Which is totally different than how it worked the entire rest of the game. Except in base invasion. See, I think that's one of the ways it should have worked. Like, when ship landings, they obviously programmed the AI differently because they were very offensive. And they just came straight for you. I don't think every mission should do that. But have some kind of mix of that. Like, maybe you catch them off guard and you catch the first ones off guard, but then they've communicated to the others, and maybe they're trying to flank you while you're attacking their buddies, or maybe the brutes just run straight in, but then, like, the thin men would, you know, actually spend time to try to flank you, and all of a sudden they're behind you. That would have been great, but instead you get this, like, button press. It's like, oh, they've seen you, they get a free move, now combat is on. And like I said, it just felt really cheap way to do that. Hopefully they maybe fix that in XCOM 2 or Terror Below or whatever. I really actually hope they do that. The idea of fighting the aliens, like, underwater, under the oceans, I think would be pretty awesome. Anyway, the music was pretty fitting most of the time. Especially the one main theme that I really liked. Just yawning like a damn scrub right into the monitor like some kind of unprofessional bastard. Imagine that. But yeah, I don't know, it just felt very satisfying to execute these strategies, and, like, not only not have anybody die, but when you manage to not have anybody take any damage at all, that was always pretty darn satisfying. I still think Overwatch is a bit overpowered. It seems like it's just really good. I think they might have nerfed it after release, and maybe they made it so that you get a bigger aim penalty. Because it seems like I miss more when I've played it the second time, but it could just be I just forgot. I don't know. But yeah, I just feel. But yeah, it's Overwatch does seem a bit overpowered. But anyway, overall, like I said, I really like the game. On a score of a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like perfect game, never doesn't exist. 5 is a mediocre game, like equal parts good, equal parts bad, and a 1 would be just utter unplayable garbage, like it's so buggy and just doesn't work, etc. I'd give this game an 8 or an 8.5. I very much enjoyed it. I put a lot of hours into it, and I was getting a little kind of anxious near the end, like I was trying to get to the point where I just beat the game. And it wasn't necessarily that I was getting tired of the game. I just feel like this Let's Play was running a little long. And also, especially if you watch my other Let's Plays, you know that when special thanks, hey, Ken Levine. Nice. That's he's the head of I don't know if he's the head, but he's like the creative director of Irrational Games, which just laid off a whole bunch of people. And by the time you see this, that's old news. But Notch as well, the Minecraft dude. But yeah, 8.5. As far as a price, I have to give a price. Like what a price I think you should pay for this. This is worth $50 to $60. This is worth full retail price. If you like this kind of game, absolutely. Even if you're going to just do it at one time, I would say 50 to 60. I put a ton of hours into this. And if you're the type who would want to play through it once and then like learn the mechanics and then go back through and play on like a harder difficulty and or put Ironman on, Ironman is where you can't like reload or save. It's just like I think it saves after a match is over, but you can't like reload that save. Does that make sense? So if like you fuck up or if somebody dies, you can't reload. It's just like they're permanently dead. And I think most people actually suggest Iron Man. So if I play through this again, I would play with Iron Man on. So anyway, for a price, if you only would play through it once, I still say 50 to 60, frankly. I think this is just that good of a game. And I'm almost positive nowadays it retails for less than that. I think it might go for like 40 or 30 somewhere in there. I don't know. If you could pick this up for $20 or less, it's a no-brainer. Like I think you'd be a fool to not pick this up if you don't. I mean, unless you just don't like strategy games. But then, I mean, this isn't going to change your mind because I mean, I don't think this is like so different from other strategy games that you'll be like, oh, I hate strategy games, but this one's I'm totally cool with. So if you like strategy games at all, you probably already have this. But if you don't, buy it. Like right now, just go buy it. It's an excellent game. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, leave comments. Let me know what you thought of this Let's Play in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter. That's the easiest place to get a hold of me, and I update it pretty frequently, letting you guys know what it's up, etc., etc. Like my videos if you like them, and I will see you in the next Let's Play.